He's passionate about the future of architecture and interested in how it can shape a sustainable world. So we're very excited to have our youngest Pecha Kucha speaker ever, Willie Graham. Hold on. You tell me when you're done. You ready?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Over 8,000 years ago in Turkey, the first city was called Çatalhöyük. In Çatalhöyük, the only purpose, for the houses were, just housing, to get a roof over people's heads. And all the houses were just made out of mud and a little bit of clay to sustain it. And 325 generations later, we have the iconic building, Frank Gehry's Bilbao. Now, Bilbao isn't only art itself, but it houses art. This is an iconic building for all architecture. Now, what really got me interested in architecture were unusual buildings, like this basket building, the rock building, and some of you that are from Kansas City may recognize this, library in downtown Kansas City that actually looks like it's made out of books. Now, my favorite architect is Gaudi because he uses recycled glass to make these very unusual, unique buildings that, they're very beautiful, and they just give out his design, and, they're very unique to what he does. Now, the first building that I created was this. This was called the W Tower and was made out of, steel, glass, and a little bit of plastic. And, this had started to get me thinking a little bit about how do these really tall buildings stand up since my building was so tall. And, for example, the Eiffel Tower, which opened in 1889 and was only supposed to be up for about 3 years, but it's still up to this day and sort of has marked Paris. It's Paris's landmark. When you think about Paris, you think about the Eiffel Tower. And it's not until, until the Empire State Building came out. And the Empire State Building came out in 1931. And it was the tallest building, but there were a few stories here and a few stories there, but it was really the tallest building until the Burj Dubai. The Burj Dubai came out last year and was modeled after a flower. It not only houses residents, but is also a hotel. This is currently the tallest building in the world. Now, back to Gaudi. Gaudi hung clay upside down in pots and left them there to see what they would, shape. And this is the creation of it. This is a church that he created it's a very beautiful church and an amazing building. Now, architecture and nature. This, as you can see, trees made these two bridges. Now, it did take 15 years to make this, but architecture has now been making its own, nature is now infused with architecture. And nature has made its own architecture. Now, recently, I met TED Fellow Dr. Rachel Armstrong, who's making biocells, which are not only beautiful, but very strong. This is what we're going to have infused with the future of architecture. So imagine a city alive with these cells. A city that will respond to you when you come up to it. A city that will, when you walk up to it, will say hello to you in a cybernetic voice. This actually will do that. And it's shaped like a forest canopy. It is actually very beautiful. Now, a close-up look at it, as you can see, this is the biocell. Now, the biocells will take in carbon dioxide and turn them into crystals. And these crystals act like limestone. And these biocells are beautiful. Now, the city of the future. This is just an example, but we can use these cells to stop ocean erosion and stop it from coming up onto land. Now, this is just a picture of it, but we couldn't do this before, but now with the technology we have, we can actually do this. We could create this. Now, the city of the future. In Venice, the city's starting to sink. So they're using, the biocells and putting them into the planks and the walls and underneath the bridges to help sustain it up and keep it above water. This is the city of the future. Now, right now, we have algae in architecture. This building right here may look a little bit out of the world, but this building is a regular old office building that we have right now that actually has algae on it. This algae will create electricity for the building, and it powers the whole building. Now we've come full circle right back to Bang the Door, where they're making mud houses. But do these look like the old mud houses from Chattahoochee? No, these houses are like a house that you and I could be living in today. They're a modern way of making a mud and clay house. Now, the first eco-city in the world is the city of Masdar. It's the world's first zero-emission city. This is what the future of all cities are going to be like, only this is here today. It's already been created. This is the future of architecture. Now, Rural Studios in Alabama has been working on this for a few years. They are creating these small houses for people in poverty, but they look really cool and they have a very unique design to them. Like you see this house, it looks like it's in a tunnel. Now, Architecture for Humanity has created a campaign called Design It Like You Give a Damn, which has been making these small houses for people who have been struck by natural disasters and people who can't afford big houses. That is what they're doing with architecture. The future of architecture is bioarchitecture. Bioarchitecture.
Hey, Willie, thank you so much. I love you.